So once you're on Wikipedia, first thing you need to do is to create an account in the top right hand corner of your screen. Clicking on create account and select a username. So to show you how this works, I'm going to create a new username just as you would do. And it can be related to your own name or it can be completely abstract. It just needs to be something that you're happy to be known as henceforth, because all your edits will be linked to this account and you should really only have one account. So I'm going to call myself vid Ewan, because Ewan's my name, and I'm making a video. So I'll put in a password and confirm the password, and you can put in an email address. It is optional. It's not going to be shared, it's not going to be public, but it's there so that if you want to be notified of changes that are made to pages you've edited or contributed to, you can be notified by email. So I'll leave that just now, but you also have to put the CAPTCHA security check in as well. Now this only happens in the first few hours of a new account, mainly to make sure that you are not a robot, because Wikipedia prides itself on being a human curated website. And like I say, these CAPTCHA codes won't be there forever. Okay, now that I am logged in, it's come up with a little helpful box saying no thanks, maybe later. Okay, now we'll see my username has popped up here in red link at the top of the screen. Make that a little larger. And we also have a talk page so people can leave us messages, and we also have a sandbox where we can draft content. It's our personal play area. So before we start, we need to switch on a couple of gadgets that make life easier for new Wikipedia editors. So we're going to go to Preferences, and once you're in the Preferences menu, click on the Editing tab, third one along, and once you're in Editing, these two options here are the ones you're interested in. We need this box to be unticked. Temporarily disable the visual editor whilst in beta needs to be unticked. And the editing mode needs to say show me both editor tabs, because we want the option of using the new visual editor, which is a lot like WordPress or Microsoft Word because it uses drop-down menus. But we also want the functionality that maybe we can switch into the old source editor, which uses markup. So you want to be able to use either. So clicking save, and that now switches on the visual editor. So now we have the option of both. So one other gadget we're going to switch on while we're in preferences. So we're going to go to the gadgets tab, and within the gadgets section we're going to switch on a tool called Hotcat in the editing section. That's here. Fourth one down, tick that box and click save in the bottom left corner. And the Hotcat tool is useful because some pages require, well, most pages really require categories at the bottom of the page. So why don't we have a look at an example page. So if we click on Wikipedia's globe in the top left, this is the main page, the front page of Wikipedia, and this is viewed somewhere in the region of 25 million times a day. And there's always a featured article on this page, and the featured articles are the best quality articles on Wikipedia, and this changes daily. So if we click into Stegosaurus, today's featured article, we can have a look at how an article is typically laid out. So Stegosaurus, the title of the page is emboldened, and the first sentence explains the when, the where, the why, providing a context of what this article is about and why it's notable for inclusion in Wikipedia. We also have links to other pages on Wikipedia, And if we're mentioning something multiple times in the article, we only need to link it once. We also have a information box, or info box for short, which provides a little summary information on the right hand side of the page. We also have a contents box. Now you don't need to worry about creating the contents box because this is automatically created for you through the headings that you choose. And the headings that you choose will depend on the sources that you find to back up what you're writing about. No statement should exist on Wikipedia without a high quality, published, reliable secondary source backing up its inclusion. And here we have citations backing up the content of this first couple of sentences. So ideally we want a citation backing up the information after every statement made, or at least every paragraph. So we see lots of links to other Wikipedia articles to help someone's understanding of the article, and citations running all the way through it. We have a subheading here, images, and links within these images. And if I scroll all the way down, more headings, more images, more wiki links, more citations. Further down the page, all the way down. Okay, now we come to the See Also section, that you can include other pages that would be of interest to the person reading the page, and a References section, so all the citations that we've had earlier in the article, these all appear down here, and it's really good if we can click on these links to verify the information, find out a bit more. So ideally open access references should be used, but we have to work in the world in which we live, so let's try and include as many open access articles as we can. Okay, and you'll see there's a little open access link there. You can actually provide these little icons as well, that little green open padlock. Okay, and further down the page, an external links section to websites outside of Wikipedia that you can click through to find out a bit more about images and media related to Stegosaurus at Wikimedia Commons, Wikipedia's sister project of about 44 million openly licensed image files, sound clips, film clips, etc., but all openly licensed. And there's data related to Stegosaurus at a sister project called Wikispecies. And down at the bottom, this is where categories appear, and so that we can group similar articles together in categories. And then we have Stegosaurus appearing in this category, late Cretaceous dinosaurs of North America. So that's one way of finding information on Wikipedia, through the category system. Okay, so if we quickly look at the talk page of the article, this tells us that it's a featured article and it's been nominated for inclusion on Wikipedia. And it was a candidate for featured article status on September 30th, 2016, and the result was it was promoted. But before it can become a featured article, it needs to go through the good article quality check, which is the second highest level of quality article on Wikipedia. And so these two highest levels of quality on Wikipedia are community reviewed. Articles on Wikipedia are looked after by wiki projects, or these are places where Wikipedia editors that have a particular interest in a particular subject, like dinosaurs, they can come together and help improve that subject's coverage. And they will normally have a little table like this where they show all the featured articles that they've got related to their project. So there's two top quality featured articles related to dinosaurs. And if we go back, we can see there are 1,124 stub articles, and these are the shortest types of articles on Wikipedia. So if I click into this one, very short. Yeah. Okay. If I go back, so the talk page is where you find out about the wiki projects that look after the article that you're interested in, and it's also where you will find little comments and discussions on Wikipedia about that article. Okay, and you'll see that anytime we leave a message on a talk page, we sign our username, and it will give us a date and timestamp, and sort of indenting the discussion so it's a bit clearer who's saying what. Okay, that's talk pages, but if you click on View History, this shows you the whole history of the page and all the changes made to the Stegosaurus page. So click on Article and then go to View History. That will show us this page. You see all the users that have been involved in the article's creation. So Waggy, PrimeFac, Srick32977, Piled, Higher and Deeper, etc. But we also record IP addresses. You can still edit Wikipedia even if you're not logged in, but we still record IP addresses, so there's still a level of accountability. And all of these date and time links are permanent links. So if any unhelpful edits are made, means we can go back to the page's last good state and revert the page back, as we've seen here, reverted one edit by this user. Okay, so there's been a number of changes over time. And you'll see that ClueBot is a bot that is patrolling for possible vandalism. So there was a user tried to make a edit that was deemed vandalism, and ClueBot reverted it back immediately. But you can still report false positives as they're being made, because ultimately Wikipedia prides itself on being human curated. Okay, so that's an article. How do we then draft that article? How do we create an article? Okay, to do that, what we're going to do is create our first page. If we click on the sandbox, the red link at the top, now it's offering us the opportunity to edit or switch to the visual editor. Now, if you're given this choice, I would say always go to the visual editor, because it's the type of editor that we've just switched on that makes life that much easier to edit Wikipedia. Okay, so this is what a sandbox looks like, and like I say, this is where you draft articles before they go into the Wikipedia live space. And we need to have at least 100 words, I would say, at least 50 to 100 words to create a new stub article. And your new article should be backed up by at least 3 or 4 high quality, reliable, published secondary sources. And what do we mean by good quality references? We're talking about this. Anything that has a reputation for fact checking and accuracy, but it must be published elsewhere. Wikipedia can't be the first place information is published. So we're reflecting the information that's already out there in the world. So academic, peer-reviewed, scholarly materials often used. High quality mainstream publications also. Anything really that has an editorial oversight, where the quality of the content is checked. So work from respectable publishing houses, university level textbooks, academic and peer-reviewed scholarly material. Internet blogs are generally not considered reliable, so don't use them if you can. You're likely to be challenged on their inclusion if you start using them, especially content that's coming from sites like Facebook posts, etc. So avoid internet blogs. BBC, CNN, The Herald, Telegraph, Guardian, any sort of reliable, respected newspaper site should be okay to use. Avoid tabloid news sites and anything that doesn't have a history of being a reliable, fact-checking, accurate source of information. And the general rule of thumb is if no reliable source of information can be found on a topic, then Wikipedia should not have an article on it yet. So at least 3 or 4 sources for a new article, backing up in 100 words to create that short stub article. There's a little summary. Magazines, journals, mainstream newspapers. Ideally your broadsheet types. Okay. Okay, so now we're in a sandbox. We can start drafting content. And the main thing to note here is all the drop-down menus. So I can type, by way of example, my username by putting my cursor on the page, and I can turn that into a heading. Just highlighting and using that first drop-down. There's the arrow for undo, there's the arrow for redo, and this first one is all about changing into headings and subheadings. And if we have at least 3 headings or more, then that will help generate our contents box. And if you want a quote, it should be a short quote attributed to where it came from, but this little option will indent it for you. Okay, so if I take a return under there, I can type in a little short summary sentence of hi, I am learning how to edit Wikipedia, and I can change learning to bold using this second drop down, like so. It's just highlighting and changing it with that option there. And to do a link, we're going to use the third drop down. If you see, it will look through Wikipedia for any pages with that title. And I'm just going to click on this top one, and it's turned it into a blue clickable link. But just to show you how you create red links on Wikipedia. Because red links on Wikipedia are useful too, because they indicate where Wikipedia has a gap. And the idea is to encourage people to create those pages. So it's again the same way. If I highlight the text, use the link drop down, and it will provide a red link because University of Hogwarts does not exist. Now, obviously, it has to be relevant to your article that you're creating, and it has to be worthwhile for it to be included on Wikipedia. Okay, so that's headings, bold, and links very quickly. Now let's do another section for my example citation. And we're going to show you how the citation tool works. I'm going to turn that into a heading and hit return to take a new line. And I'm going to do an example sentence. I read an interesting article on The Guardian today about, okay, and I'm going to bring up a new window and go to The Guardian. Okay, so I'm going to find an article. Oh, Obesity is the greatest threat for millennials than cannabis. It's absurd, says Simon Jenkins. So, if I was writing an article about obesity or any of these issues, I would just take the URL web address from the top, copy it, go back to my sandbox, pretending that I'm writing a statement, and I need to back up that statement from that article. I'm going to put the cursor at the end of the statement, click the citation drop down, and now I've got three options here: automatic, manual, and reuse. The automatic citation generator is the easiest one to use. So if you have a URL web address, or if it's a journal, the DOI code, or if it's a book, the ISBN number, or if it's a PubMed article, then you might have the PubMed ID. So if you have any of that, you can just paste them in, hit generate, and it will automatically create the citation for you. And let's pull that in, and I can click insert, and it's giving me the number 1. Now if I click on that again, I can hit edit. It shows me all the details it's pulled in from the Guardian. But if it was missing information, I could add more in with more fields here. And there's umpteen fields that we could add in just to improve that citation. Okay. Now, if I wanted to cite that again, if I was using Simon Jenkins' article multiple times in my article, then I don't need to input the URL address again because it's already there. What I can do is click Cite, and now reuse is an option for me. So I can click Reuse, and there's Simon Jenkins' citation appearing again, so I could cite it one more time there. I'm not going to do that just now because it wouldn't make sense to have the same citation appearing one beside each other, but it might do if I was writing more about the same topic. So what I'm going to do is create a new heading called References, change that to a heading. Now I'm going to publish my page at the top right of the screen, and I'm going to create it Sandbox as my edit summary. So it's a good idea to put in a short edit summary of all the changes you've made, and the main change we're doing is we've created our page that is a sandbox, and it's asking me for a capture code, so I'm going to put in stubwires. Again, these capture codes won't always be asked for. It's just for this first step of an account, but you'll see that as soon as I've saved the page, that reference has appeared. So we've got that citation linked to the reference, and that link takes me through to the article itself. So the idea is you don't cite Wikipedia, but you can cite the sources it uses, and we should be able to click on the citation to find out more, click on the reference, and then find out more from the source itself. The other thing you'll see is that the sandbox link is turned blue. That means that page now exists. Our sandbox now exists. And to create a page on Wikipedia, you just can click on any red link, and it will ask you if you want to create it. And then you just need to add at least one character of text, and then hit save for it to turn into a blue clickable link. Okay, if I hit edit to go back into the visual editor, you see you've got your two tabs here, edit and edit source. So source editor is the old way of editing Wikipedia. You see it's all wiki markup for links, etc. You have two square brackets. So this edit option is the easier of the two options. I can show you now what the rest of these drop downs do. So I've done my example citation, so I'm going to do my example list. Turn heading, hit return, things I enjoy by way of example, running, football, watching movies. Okay, and now I've got my list. I can highlight all of that and use this drop down to turn it into a bullet list. And it's as easy as that, just highlighting the text and changing it. And if I publish the changes, added bullet lists, again, just make sure we put in a short summary of the changes we've made. And now we have a contents box. You'll see that if you have 4 headings, it will automatically generate that for you. So you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to click in Edit to go back in. Now let's add an image. So we've moved left to right, so we're going to add an image from the Insert menu. Insert has lots of different options here. Math formula, chemical formula, graph. And to add an image, we're going to insert media. And this will do a keyword search from Wikimedia Commons, which, if I show you very quickly, is a sister project for Wikimedia, which has 45 million freely usable media files to which anyone can contribute. So 45 million files. Let's do a keyword search for something we want on our page. And this is our sandbox, is our personal page. And there's a grey squirrel. So I'm going to pick that first one. Tells me a little bit about it, size, the license, that's a Creative Commons open license. All the files on Wikimedia Commons will be openly licensed. It tells me who took it and when. I'm going to click Use this image. I'm going to add a caption. And I'm going to link to the Wikipedia page for Grey Squirrel as well. I'm going to put in a alternative text for those people with screen readers. There is advanced settings as well if I want to wrap text or have the picture on the left hand side of the page, center of the page, right hand side of the page, or if I want a frame. And I can change the size by changing the dimensions here. But easiest way to change the size is just to click Insert, just pull the left hand corner to the size we're happy with. It's maybe a bit too big. I'll do. Maybe I want it higher up the page or lower down the page, so I'm just going to pull it down a little bit, dragging it. Maybe a bit higher, actually, because there we go, that's better. Okay, so that's the image added. And we also want an info box, little summary box to appear. So that's in the Insert menu as well. So Insert, Template. Now, before we do this, we need to decide what template we're going to put in. So the template is an info box. You'll see there's many different types of info boxes available to you. If you're writing about a school, a film, a person, a settlement, a military conflict, hundreds of them. So the one for just writing about a person would be info box person. So if I choose info box person, add template, and the person we're writing about, I'm just going to put me in there for just now, just as a way of showing you. And maybe pick a couple more fields. I'll put in you can choose from as many fields as you like. There's loads of them here, 93 I believe. And then hit Insert, and then I can drag that up the screen, and I can add to that as I want to. Okay, so info box is there, image is there. Let's save the page, added info box and picture and publish. Now that hasn't actually published the page. All it does is a little strange that it says publish. It's actually just saving the page. Your page is still in your sandbox, which is in your user space. Okay, one last thing to show you. Click edit is how you would add categories. So insert media is for images, template for info box. Categories appear at the bottom of the page, and if we've moved left or right, they're at the bottom of this drop down menu. So this option here with the three little horizontal lines, click categories. And if we're adding categories, we could put in the year of someone's birth, by way of example, 1980 births. If it turns black, it means there's a category for it. If it's turning red, it means no such category exists. Let's try that again. See it red. So I'm going to bin that one. Let's go with, it's a bit macabre, but there we go. Okay. So if you were writing about someone that was notable and passed away, you could have their year of birth, year of death, and you could do their notable roles, like chemists, for example, if we're writing about that. Maybe not have Wikipedians then in that case. But yeah, that shows you how you can search for categories. And if it turns black, those are the ones you want to use. As much as possible, let's work with the category system that is already in existence, but there may be an argument for creating new categories if it's going to help improve the encyclopedia. Now, I'm not going to I'll hit apply just now, and you'll see that they appear down the bottom as links. Normally we wouldn't add categories in your sandbox. The reason being is that if you have categories in your sandbox, then it means your sandbox is indexed in Wikipedia's category system, and really you don't want your sandbox in there. You want your published page to be categorized. So I'm going to remove the categories just now, and we'll wait and add the categories once I'm happy with my page. So that removed them. So okay, so I'm just going to added then removed categories, save the page. Okay, so that's our page reasonably drafted. And now let's turn these other red links into blue links as well. So talk page, click on that. And this is where people can leave you messages. So I'm going to click in here. And this is, you've only got the option here for create source. So this is, talk pages unfortunately only use the old-fashioned source editor, so you need to know a little bit of markup. But all I want you to do here is put, hi, this is my talk page. Feel free to leave me a message sometime. Okay, and like I say, when we're doing talk pages, we need to sign. So put the cursor at the end, click on the blue pencil, and it will come up with these little squiggles, 4 tilde symbols at the end. And what that does is, if I click show preview, is it adds our username and a date and timestamp. Just by clicking that blue pencil, adds in your username and a date and timestamp, and that's what we want on a talk page. So I'm happy with the preview. It's not saved yet, so I better save it with a summary of, just a short summary of what I've done, and click save page. Okay, and now my second page is created. Let's turn blue. Okay, that is the final red link, vidUIN. If I click on that, it offers me these 3 bullet points saying that we don't have a user page with that exact name, but you can start one if you like. So always select the top bullet point option here. And what you'll see is we've got our 2 editor tabs, create source and create. And if we don't want to edit in the source markup, we want to use a visual editor, we just click create. And now we've got our drop down menus back again. And your user page is your own private space. This is where people come to find out who you are on Wikipedia, and you can be as anonymous as you like on this, or as open as you like. I wouldn't include bank details or home address or anything like that, but some people include their whole life story. Some people just have a picture of a cat. It's really up to you. What are you happy to share? So, but it's nice to make sure you create this, because Wikipedia community members are much more engaged with people that have created their page and have to tell them at least something about who they are. And we need to sort of understand who each other are in order for there to be transparency about what our edits are there to be are all about. So all I'm going to do is just introduce myself. Hi, my name is Ewan, and I work at the University of Edinburgh as the Wikimedia resident. You don't need to put much more than that. You could say I'm interested in writing articles about it could be interesting film, Scotland, and the suffragettes. This is what we've been writing about lately. That's fine. I can do some wiki linking. University of Edinburgh there. And I can do some bold if I want. But the main thing is we're going to insert a little template that tells the Wikipedia community members that we're a new user. So I'm going to put my cursor at the beginning of hi, insert template, and type in the template of this is a new user. New user. Click that top link, add template, insert. And that should generate this box. It's just like a learner plate. And you can keep that on as long as you want, but it's a good idea because we want other Wikipedia users to be aware that you're just learning the ropes, and they should try and help you out as much as possible. Okay, and then hit publish. Created my user page. Short summary, click save. Okay, so now we've got a user page, a talk page, a sandbox page. And I can create, and you'll see that our sandbox already is starting to look like a wiki article. And as long as we've got 50 to 100 words backed up by about 3 references, then that's enough to transfer it into the live space. If I click edit, and the way that we can move into the live space is we can use a drop down called move in order to move it into the Wikipedia live space, but I'll show you how that's done in a separate video. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. So when you are ready to move your drafted article from the sandbox area into Wikipedia's live space, there are a number of options for you to do this. The first would be this big blue button here, submit your draft for review. Now if you've got a new account, you'll only be able to do this. This will be the only way you'll be able to submit
a new article for publishing on Wikipedia's live space for the first 4 days of your new account. What it does, it will submit your article for review by another experienced Wikipedia editor, and they'll decide if it needs extra work or if it can go into the live space. But that only happens for the first 4 days. And after the 4 days, you can publish direct to Wikipedia's live space yourself, as long as you've made 10 edits to Wikipedia first of all. And if you've drafted your article in your sandbox, then it's likely that you will have already accrued those 10 edits anyway. So you can submit your draft for review. That's an option. But the preferred way of doing it, if you want to just move it directly into Wikipedia's main space, is to use the More drop-down menu there next to the search bar, and there's an option there to move your article. Okay, so you'll see that at the moment it's opened up this box that says Move Page, and it's saying that at the moment the page is in the user space area of Wikipedia with this title. So I'm going to change that to article space and change this to the article I'm writing about. So you want the title of the page to be exactly as you want it to appear. So if it's a person's name, it must have a capital letter. And you must also check that no similar page exists first of all with the same name, and if it does, you should disambiguate it with a little extra information that will make it more unique. And then a reason why you're moving the page. Well, created new article would be that. Okay, and you can tick this box to say that you want to be notified of any changes and watch any changes to the source page, your original page, and the target page where you're moving your page into the live Wikipedia. And then just by clicking that blue button, that's all it does. It will move that article into Wikipedia's main space. And here's one I made earlier. And there it is in Wikipedia's live space. So if I click that now, that would create another page with a slightly different title, but that's what it would look like. And at that point, we would add categories at the bottom, and Hotcat can help with that. And we can also create a talk page for the page, and we can include templates as to which wiki projects should be notified that there is a new article on their field of interest. And if you're not sure what templates to use, have a look at another article on Wikipedia, because all it is just a little bit of text with 2 squiggly brackets either side, but you can check other articles to see which templates they use, to see which ones will be appropriate for your article. The one template that you should put on the new articles template is that this is a new user article. So you want other Wikipedia editors to see that you are a new user, and they should offer help and guidance if need be. So there we go, little smiley face. Now that's probably a good way to end. Cheers.